Okay guys, welcome back. This is your old pal Hondo doing another fishing line review on two fishing lines in particular. This is like a versus type of fishing line video. Well, I'm just using this one as an example, but basically my video is going to be about this fishing line right here, which is the Vicious pan fishing line, which is 4-pound test. They do only make 4-pound tests in this version. They also make 8, 10, 11, 8, 10, a 6, and 15 to 17, all the way up to 30-pound test in Vicious fishing line. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly with the fishing line comparison to the STREN. As you can see, I do have some of the high vis line on there. I went fishing last night. I'll roll in some video of me using the fishing line last night, fishing for crappie. I'm gonna give you the pros and cons of it. All right, I'm gonna give you a good. I'm gonna give you some good about it. The line was cheap. It's very comparable to the STREN fishing line in price, with the 330 yard spool, which was around $460 something from Walmart. But you're getting slightly more line with the Vicious line over the STREN, like, I don't know, 29 more yards of line over the STREN. Price is good. I'm gonna give you a bad about the spool. For one, when I was trying to put line on my fishing reel, the little notches they had that held the line in place broke off, and that's a pretty bad con of this spool of line. Already out the bat, I broke it off, little chunks of it out, and it would constantly get stuck in the little notches when I was trying to re-spool it, which made it a nightmare to re-spool my reel. You don't see that with the STREN spool, you know what I'm saying, of line. It comes off really easy when you're rethreading your line back on your reel. This was pretty horrible. I don't know why they didn't just stick with a full spool like that with the Vicious line. That's a con of the line I don't like already out the bat. Now the use of the line, okay, it casts about, now this is a monofilament, which has a lot of memory. This is not fluorocarbon or nano line or anything like that, so it's a floating line, and it casts pretty much on par with the STREN. Now I did get a lot more line twists with the STREN instead of the Vicious. The Vicious didn't have really much line twist. Now the STREN, I got a lot of line twists with that, but it's a lot stronger. It did cast about on par with the STREN, but you know, with the crappy quality of the spool, it kind of lets me down. One thing I do like about the line, it is high vis, so when you're fishing at night and you got a headlamp or a small type of lantern in your electrical lantern in your kayak or canoe or on the bank, it helps you see the line at night, which is one of the main reasons why I bought it, and it worked really well whenever I was using it at night, and you could see it a lot better than you could the clear option. Now the STREN original line only has, well, for me, in my local Walmart, only has one color option for fishing line, which is clear, and that they give you for the STREN is clear, and it's harder to see at night when you're fishing. This stuff here is a little bit slightly lighter actually over the STREN. I think the STREN's a little bit more stout, you know, it's you can tell it's a lot more stiffer than this stuff. This stuff is a little bit lighter for monofilament, and you could actually see it in the water a lot better than you can the STREN. But I give the STREN the strength, because every time I get stuck in lily pads with this Vicious line, I was breaking off in the lily pads, and I was losing more rigs than I did with the STREN. The STREN was really strong. I could pull my pull my rigs through the lily pads without losing my jig heads. I lost literally 3 jig heads. So I'm going to give the Stren has more strength over the Vicious fishing line. Now, how did it hold up to some panfish? It actually held up fairly well, believe it or not. Every time I'd hook a fish, it brought the fish in. So it gets high marks for that. I mean, it didn't snap off every time I hooked into a you know, a decent sized crappie. The Stren is great too because it never snaps off when you hook into a nice sized crappie. Now, I have bought some cheaper line in the past, like 4-pound test, like Omniflex. That stuff breaks off every 3 fish. I caught 4 fish with this line and it didn't break off at all. Now, the only problem I had, that it was not strong enough to get through weeds. You know, like if you're pulling it through lily pads to try to retrieve your bait, to try to look for where you lost your bait. Now, it does hold a knot fairly well though. I mean, I've tied several knots with this Vicious 4-pound test and it holds up really well. Like I said, if I tied off knots with say some Zebco Omniflex, that stuff would constantly break off when you're trying to do trilene knots or polymer knots. That line is just garbage. Now, this stuff did hold up to tying off lines with trilenes and polymer knots really well. It didn't have any of those issues with it at all. So, you know, the line strength is a little bit better in quality than say Omniflex or Eagle Claw or South Bend line. It's a little bit, it's a step up, but it's not Stren. Now, the Stren I had, that stuff it'll hold up knots really well, and it's 10 times, I think it's about 5 times stronger than this Vicious line. But there's not very many color options when it comes to my local Walmart with the Stren monofilament 4-pound test. There's not much of that, and you only get stuck with clear, which is not bad. I mean, for daytime fishing, clear is good for that. At nighttime, I use the low vis option for fishing, and I can see it really well with the low vis option on the Stren with the clear. The high vis option's great with this Vicious because I can see it better at night in the water when I'm fishing. It's an okay line. I think it's a good entry-level line for pan fishing. I use nothing but monofilament when I go fishing because it's cheap, it's affordable, you're not breaking the bank. It's very affordable, and it's a low-cost option over, say, fluorocarbon or braid. A lot of people like using braid and a fluorocarbon leader or a monofilament leader. If that's the kind of setup you want, then you could do it that way too. But I use strictly monofilament. It's a floating line. Now, you might have issue with it sinking, so if you're going to use a jig head, you may want to stick a split shot on there, and that might work out better for you to get it to depth if you need to. It's not a bad line, honestly. For the $4 for a 330-yard spool line, I recommend it. It held up to some decent size half-pound crappies and bluegills. I'll run some video in here to show you, and yeah, I do recommend it. So, okay guys, got my first giant crappie right here. Oh, hold still, boy. Hold still. Oh my goodness. Hold still. He's a big one, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh. There you guys go. Another big crappie. Back your kayak out of there, man. You're gonna ruin that spot. Use your jigs, man. Back your spot out of there, man. You're gonna ruin the spot. Oh man, I had one there, damn it. Oh, he tore my jig all to hell, dude. Told you, that's the money spot right there, bud.
Did you keep that one?
Mm-hmm. That was a big one too, dude. I should have grabbed a net, dude. It was so big. Man, you're hogging up the spot. Dude. Are you stuck? That's where I caught that giant one, dude. Now I'm stuck. Okay, got a nice bluegill here, guys. On the Gulp Alive minnow. A really nice bluegill here. Oh, you bitch. Well, he's in the boat. I ain't complaining. Got a nice bluegill over there. We got a nice little spot here, open spot. We'll try to catch some bluegill and crappie in. Okay, that's been the video, guys. I hope you like this video on a some fishing with the Vicious line and showing you how it works. I do recommend it. The pros and cons, but I would recommend the STREN over this any day because the STREN's a lot more tough and durable, holds up a lot better, but the STREN has more line twist than the Vicious, but the STREN is good too. I mean, either one of these are good. If you're in the option in Walmart, you're looking for a good panfish line, guys, don't overlook the Vicious. It works fine. I think the STREN's a little bit better, and it's better quality, holds up a lot better. But if y'all like this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think. And this has been your old pal Hondo. Peace out, YouTube.